After a long, wet night, the rain has mostly decided to turn just into spatterings instead of constant. So I've been packing up and I'm just about to take down the tarp and then hit the trail again. I can't believe that made it through that night. There were some times that I thought that the rain was just going to come down in buckets, and I thought there were rivers running by the campsite. Fortunately, in a hammock, you don't need to worry about the site flooding. Because of the rain today that's expected all day today, I'm not sure how far I'm going to get. My original plan has me going to Windsor, which is about 60 miles. I might stop in Sedalia instead when I get there. We'll see. But it also means that I won't be using my external microphone today. It's too much of a hassle. So I'm sorry for the low audio quality today. However, it's exciting to be getting back out there. I'm going to pick the rest of the leaves off of the tarp, pack it up, and then hit the trail. Over the top. Radio equipped. And there's the actual trailhead for Boonville. What? Skeletons on bikes. So as I head up this not very steep incline, but an incline nevertheless, I'm amused that it has a name. This is called Lard Hill. Legend goes that a resident of Boonville had a pig escape and was killed by one of the Katy trains. The railway offered her $5 for the death of her pig, and she was insulted by that. So she boiled down what was left of the pig into lard and spent the next month greasing the track up this hill, making the railway, the trains slip and slide along the hill. On a rainy day like this, it's not very slippery to me, but could certainly have been, especially for a train. So there you go. That's the story of Lard Hill. Downhill is nice. This is one of the few remaining signal posts along the Katy Trail. Imagine this as a dream that you're kind of floating through. The train running by over here on the left. The signal telling it whether the next block is free of other trains or not, whether it's safe to continue. Good day. So the rains have finally let up enough that I feel comfortable getting off the bike and talking to camera. It has been cold. It was nice going downhill a little bit. But I'm here at Shaver Creek, only about 7.5 miles from Sedalia. Oh, this has been a hard day. All of the hills for the Katy Trail seem to be on this part of it. From Franklin to Pilot's Grove to on out here to Shaver Creek. It's been up and down and up and down. It's been a little crazy. There's been some great sights, but nothing that I could actually capture on camera because of all the rain. Let's take a look over here. Shaver Creek is beautiful. And off to this side. I mean, as long as we're off the bike, it should take a quick excursion. Oh. I'm really looking forward to getting into Sedalia. I am soaked from head to toe. Even through the jacket to the shirt below. I'm glad I wore my quick drying shirt below it instead of my warm shirt. But yeah, I really hope there's a place to dry out clothing tonight, because it's really going to be necessary. Of course, tomorrow's supposed to be clear and sunny, and I hope that I'm done with the rain for the moment. It looked like it was clearing away from Sedalia for the time being, and I hope that that will continue to be. After lunch, I'll evaluate whether to go on the last, I think it's 21 miles from Sedalia to Windsor. Would get me set up right to be on the Rock Island Trail, but worst comes to worst, I can stay in Sedalia, have a nice warm place to stay immediately. We shall see. Let's keep going. The trail awaits. So I finally made it out of Sedalia. Had a nice stop for lunch. And when I'd finished my meal, I said, you know what? I'm still hungry and I don't want sweet things. So I ordered a plate of mac and cheese bites for dessert. You never know what's going to be calling your name out on the trail. But it is nice to be underway again. It's nice to have firmly packed trail beneath the wheels so that I can actually roll and not feel like I'm getting mired down in muck all the time. It's been in the 40s all day. Didn't realize how cold I was until stopping for lunch. At which point I realized that's not the normal experience of how people go out to eat. You don't go in and change into a dry shirt, order food. So little differences make a big difference on the trail. Good morning, friend humans. Lucas Levy Keppel here, and it is the morning of day 5 of this trip. I'm glad to have made it into Windsor last night, but as you may notice, I'm not in the hammock right now. That's because when I came in, the winds were blowing so hard that as I was setting up the hammock tarp, it kept destaking and being blown out, and I figured that I did not want to spend an entire night having to get out of the hammock and restake and get back into the hammock and deal with all the wet and the cold that would entail. So I paid for the upgrade to a cabin. Still was less than $50, which was really nice. And I have a space that will let me dry all my gear and make sure that I'll be ready to hit the trail today. That was my last day on the Katy trail officially. I'll have like maybe a quarter of a mile today to get to the Rock Island Trail junction, and then it's only another 48 miles up to Pleasant Hill, where I'll be ending my cycle tour of Missouri. So to celebrate, I got myself a shirt. I thought it was really cool to have Katy Trail spelled out that way. I don't know how I feel about not being on the Katy anymore. After 4 days on it, I kind of just feel like, oh, that's my life. I get up, I go, when I get back. I can understand why cycle tourists, when they get back from a long cycle tour, feel like it's weird that they're not getting on the bike. I'm not quite to that level yet. I'm a little stiff and sore this morning. It'll be an interesting challenge, I think, to get through it. I have been waiting for the rain to ease up a little bit. It's supposed to be mostly cloudy for most of the day instead of just rain nonstop. It'll be nice to not have to deal with the rain all day long. And it'll be nice to have, at least dry clothes to start out the day with, which I'm looking forward to. But let's get back out on the trail. Goodbye, Katy. Hello, Rock Island. Tree. Huh. So I just made it out of Leeton, which was 10 miles from Windsor, where I started the day. And while the trail is better here, it's been super muddy today. There have been blowdowns, and it's cold, quite frankly, even if it's not raining anymore. So I've talked to my friends, and I think they're gonna come pick me up at the Chilhowee trailhead. I feel a little disappointed, so I really wanted to make it to the end of the spur, but I don't think I would have made it to Pleasant Hill today. Not at these speeds. I've only been averaging about 6 miles an hour, and that's just not gonna work. Hello, friend humans. We've reached the end of the line. Not the actual end of the line. But the end of my line. It's been said that discretion is the better part of valor. Well, after fighting muddy roads, tree blowdowns, and just tired legs after 5 days on the trail, decided to end here at Chilhowee. And wait here at the trailhead for some good friends to pick me up. So, you can see that the tires got quite a bit of work, at least today, going over these muddy roads. The dry bag worked a treat. I never had any problems with wet quilts or sleep clothes. That was one of the things I looked forward to most every night. It was getting into dry, warm clothing. Now the camera here, on the other hand, that waterproof cover did not work. The bag underneath was still pretty soaked. Somewhere along the line I lost my tent stake bag, and so the tent stakes are just here on the outside. You can tell I picked up some mud somewhere along the line. I have a feeling that'll be fun to wash off when I get back to a bike wash station. Unlike the camera dry bag, the rear pannier dry cover worked really well. It kept the panniers really dry, kept the things in them really dry, which, you know, that's what I really wanted from it. Once again, we've got quite a bit of mud caked on here. I have a feeling the tires were throwing up quite a bit. The drivetrain worked a treat. I did a complete cleaning of the drivetrain, of the chain, and made sure that everything was well lubed before coming, and I'm so glad I did. That was some good maintenance to do. I didn't need to have the trail lube used at all, even though I brought it. What was on there worked. I didn't have any trouble shifting gears. Occasionally getting a stick or two caught in it, that wasn't the best. Otherwise it was okay. And yeah, that's the final condition of the bike. The Giant Roam 4 served me well on this. It was a good hybrid bike for this trail. Hooray! The chariot has arrived. Hello!
It's very cold.
It's reasonably cold. It's been colder on this trip.
Great. Good.
Kate and Sean are here. Thank you, my rescuers. That's right.